Hello there, commanders, and welcome back to National Cup. We are in round 5, the last round of the group stage, where everything is going to be decided. Well, not everything, as we already know that Ukraine, Russia is making it out of the group stage, and France is eliminated. And it's all between Spain, China, and Poland. As two out of three of those teams are going to advance to the semifinals as well to face Russia and Ukraine. Okay, fog of war off. Speaking of France, we do have France here. It's France versus Poland. We are on Rubicon, so again, most likely the Polish map of choice. And let's look what both teams are up to. We have already, well, those are infiltrated, so no. French cavalry over here on the watchtower. They should be able to see those units over here. Maybe this one, definitely not this one. But yeah, the Polish team has 3 players over here of infantry ready to face any French advance, and it looks like we will see a French advance over here. They do have Knane archers, so Foxmen, some dogs, very lightly armored composition, which, well, is going to do well if there are no ranged units present. The Polish team has their ranged units over here, and they're launching an attack over here as well. So both teams launching an attack with the side that has ranged units, and defending with the side that doesn't have ranged units. So see how both teams are going to play around it. Charge here, trying to find a gap, but really not finding that much success. But then again, that phalanx has not been, it's not even a phalanx, it's a raise shield, so find the shade rather. It's being engaged frontally. But well, Sula is just being focused and dealt huge damage to an elephant from the Polish team. Is going to possibly force his way through and just walk on top of the start contesting the point already. One of the sword units, barbarian swords, have been sent around to deny the healing zone if the French team would choose to use it. See 2 units from the Polish team waiting for it to unlock, and the French team pushing the Polish over here. Let's see, so the Polish team has 9 melee units over here and 1 cavalry unit. 2 cavalry units as one is swinging around. French have left one swords and 1 cavalry unit in the back to defend and keep the vision. That vision isn't very useful over here. Well, it will spot the cavalry coming, so there's that. Will they use the dogs to intercept the cavalry? There we go. The dog player has woken up, but he isn't using his own dogs. Ooh, and that charge was quite powerful. That hurt him. And well, but the cavalry will be stopped. Archers are going to provide some damage over here if they actually hit the target, and B is now going to be contested, but just a lot of melee units here for the Polish team, and yeah, the French just don't have enough power to actually force their way through. Does the Polish team have enough power here to capture D? Possibly. If they can cut off these units from retreating to the base, or not the base, to the point. They have failed to do so. They need to save their ranged units, as the French cavalry has come around from the E flank to the D, and they will be able to find pretty good charge into the repeating crossbows, so they have been largely neutralized. And now the French need to heal up over here, but they will be denied from doing so. Elephant is still there for the Polish team, and there's really nothing on the French team that could deal with that elephant. So even if the Polish team runs out of infantry, the elephant will definitely buy them a lot of time. The B contest is not really going well for the French team either. Their archers have been caught off guard eventually as well. The Polish team just has more melee units in here in the area, so as long as they can just 1 versus 1 every single melee unit, then the archers will be sooner or later left exposed. And now the Polish team, after capturing C for free, they're moving on to E with their oath cavalry, and well, that will be able to oath on top of there. And actually, French sending one of the units forward, that is not going to work. Archers capturing B for a little while, contesting it. Well, it's still 1.1 versus 1 point gain per second, but that battle is already going the Polish way quite heavily. The French now struggle to get the healing off, and they will be able to do that as this one unit is intercepted. The Polish team could just disengage and prevent the healing, but elects not to do so, maybe in fear of getting routed. So now they have dropped below 10, and a flank would be devastating. They do have iron discipline after all, so yeah, there's that. The repeating crossbows, they managed to be defended, and now will be used to kill off the last remaining infantry units inside D. But the French team has managed to heal up. There we go. 2 more fresh units will be able to get on top of D. And now the Polish team really doesn't have enough power to force it through. As long as the healing was properly denied, they probably could have used an elephant to do that, rather than trying to do that with infantry that can be easily stopped. And well, now the Polish team is retreating from D, trying to salvage whatever they have left. But they're still in a very good spot. B obviously has been defended. Quite a big commitment there for the Polish team, but it was definitely enough to hold off the French advance. And neither of the team really able to capture the opposite's team a point, but the huge difference maker is point C that has been just given away for free for the Polish team. Now the French team has recalled a shit ton of units over here at their base. That means E may be vulnerable, but the Polish team isn't really launching any significant attack over there. The elephant is on top of C, that is going to be able to buy a lot of time. But let's see what the French team have in common. They do have Hannibal swords. Hannibal swords are pretty good at killing elephants. They also have archers with barrage that will be able to deal a lot of damage too. And dogs are pretty okay at constantly harassing the elephant and preventing it from moving. So there's that. A recharge here by the... we were not really... Well, I was the Russian show over here, but now that it will be a recharge. With Warcry, it is a surprising recharge at that, so that is going to be routed. If it's going to be cut down, Polish team could possibly capture E with just those 2 cavalry units, but the French team is responding, sending both their dogs and foxmen. I think they should have maybe sent that to C, but that elephant is now suffering re-shots from the archers that are not being given flat arcs, sadly, but elephant is going to be cut down. Now the Polish team is, the French team is capturing C, but they're still losing E, and there we go, now it is being contested. Cavalry will be forced away, and E will not be captured. The contest will be lifted, and C, can C be captured? That is the biggest question right now. The archers are making it inside to make the capture faster. Archers versus repeating crossbows here. Ooh, archers, you need to rely on your range advantage in this matchup. Now they're going to get trapped. But C has been captured for the French team, and now as A is contested by some of their spearmen. The elephants are being sent over here, but they're not going to be very useful. D can be contested by an elephant, which is what they are going to do, the Polish team. But now this battle is looking very good for the French. They do have C, and we've seen just in a battle before how the Polish team used C to their advantage, as they just kept respawning here, like blob of infantry after blob of infantry after blob of infantry, and kept C in their possession throughout the entire battle. And we'll see if the French will be able to replicate the same success. They do have a lot of infantry here on the left flank, which I think is a bad idea. It's really going to go down about who can control C. As also C is able to be, attacked properly even without any side points being held, as the base healing zone is also quite close. It's obviously not as close as the C healing zone in itself, which still means that defense is quite easy, but it is not as easy as it is for the other points. And now Polish team has units inside C, and there is no one from the French team to contest them there, as they have just ventured forward and got cut down. And they don't have any infantry over here. They do have cavalry. One infantry player tries to go back and heal, but obviously he's going to fail. Cavalry charge now into the archers on top of the healing zone. And well, that will actually allow the infantry to... Okay, yeah, war cries, I think. Yep, I thought it was maybe on cooldown because it wasn't being used like early enough, but whatever. The French Foxmen have made it onto the point. They do have Iron Discipline if needed, so they will be able to buy a lot of time. Well, not that a lot, but maybe enough for more and more infantry for the French team to get in. Now both of them are engaging cavalry. Come on, go around. Go. You need to be inside the point. French team, no. I mean, pulling through cavalry also kind of works, but now there's a bunch of Polish infantry in front already. So the French team will have a very, very hard time making it in. Maybe the handlers can make it through. Not really, also the handlers are not a very sturdy unit able to do that. Now a unit of swords is trying to... Come on, turn, you can go in already. Go before the spears block you off. Don't be AFK, no. Okay, triple swords. Well, that player, yeah, he didn't heal up. He died on top of the healing zone. So now he just respawned. He managed to respawn in time, but the healing zone is now flipped. I mean, the point is flipped, so the healing zone is gone. Can the French team make it? They just barely make it with one of the units over here. The swords still trying to pull through, and maybe they will be able to get in. But as the healing zone is now gone, the contest for C again is neutral, and the Polish team is definitely in advantage in this area. And well, both teams need to heavily invest into C as well. A, well, now the Polish team again, healing zone present, and Elephant buying enough time. So yeah, I don't see A being captured by the French team. Cavalry is also going to go there and help. Elephant still buying time by contesting D. He's about to go down, but that won't really matter. And E is actually being backcapped by the Polish team. The French team, why do you have a unit on the watchtower but not on top of the point? That is a very good question to ask, I believe. One that I will not find an answer to, as the dogs are trying to discipline making in time, but obviously they can just be stopped. C, now also captured by the Polish team. And it was looking so good, so promising for the French team, but just a series of mistakes and mismanagement of their units has just spelled disaster for them. And now the Polish team is going to pull out ahead. Well, they are already ahead, but now they're just going to get faster and faster, even more and more ahead. The French team is trying to stay in control of E. They have managed to find cavalry. I think they must have to respawn over here and just charge in. Archers did the same, but now they're being pursued by the cavalry. The French cavalry is not really going to intercept the Polish cavalry, which, well, means that the archers are most likely that as they're going to play a ring around the rosy, to be precise, ring around. Oh, there we go. They are going to split up. That's a secret tactic that is not allowed on the tournaments. But well, they did manage to. They resorted to using it. Now they are going to run away into the embrace of their own infantry that has managed to respawn here as well after dying at sea. So the French team is most likely going to hold on to E now that they have respawned 2 additional players of infantry, but the Polish team is like, yeah, sure, you're contesting E with so many units, we're just going to go straight through C into your base. And there are only 3 units of the French team over here, 3 units on D, and they're probably waiting for their units to die on A so they can respawn them over here. Well, that's one way to do it, but the Polish team, they could have gone for base capture, but well, they want to have fun apparently, and they want to prolong the battle even longer, and they want to win by points. Speaking of winning by points, well, B is being backcapped by the cavalry. They managed to rout one of the cavalry units, one of the infantry units. That is still going to use charges, so they're not going to fare well against swords, as long as they can keep them away from the point. It's almost being flipped. Can the Polish team make it inside? Yep, they did. Oh, no. This unit is still routed. Still at minus 55, so it is going to last a while before they can get in. But this unit managed to make it barely through. There is no, what is it, mount kick. They will be able to push the swords back. And yeah, B almost flipped, but in the end, not enough. Just use your cavalry to cut down this routed unit. And well, now it's not routed anymore. So well, there goes that. The French team did manage to defend E, obviously, after respawning 3 plates of infantry over there. And now, where are they going? They are going sort of to B, sort of to C. I don't know what the French team is doing, and I don't think they know either, to be honest, as their entire team is all over the place. Polish team knows what they're doing. They're contesting D with elephants, denying the point gain for the French team, holding 1 elephant to A to prevent any sort of back captures, and they're sending 3 units of infantry onto D. But come on, you see how many units are over here. You know that you're not going to capture it. Why are you doing this? Instead, the Polish team is also deciding to go from C to the base and now kind of retreat as they are afraid of archers. Well, the Polish team has a lot of units in the center, where the French team is mostly focused on the flanks. However I want to look at it, it seems as the French team has fewer units on the battlefield. We do have 2 less, as 2 of them are dead. I have no idea where the player is that is responsible for these units. But anyway, dogs are now going to be barraged by the repeating crossbows. So that didn't work out well. I mean, it could have if they weren't recalled. And now the archers are going to be pressured by Polish cavalry, but chased away by French foxmen that are defending the archers. Cavalry still trying to find a gap. French swords have respawned and are incoming. And well, the Polish team, they're comfortably sitting onto 3 points, they're contesting D, so I guess that's what they're banking on. The infantry, they're just here for fun, I guess, but trying to help the elephants to contest the point for longer. That's about all they can achieve. They do have pikes in there though, so if they find enough outplays with pikes, it also allows the elephants to go on top of the healing zone and deny the healing. So maybe, if this pike unit could come over here and kill this blob, and then this blob. Oh, they get healed up here anyway. God damn it. Well, the elephant failed to deny the healing. Now dogs are going to be possibly routed by Scipio, but nope. Scipio nopes out as well. And well, the French team have now finally regrouped and are going to launch an attack on C, but they have taken so long that the Polish team has done the same. And they are more than ready to take on the French frontally, except maybe that charge that almost have went through, but has been largely stopped by caltrops, or slowed down by caltrops. Now barbarian infantry is coming along, so they will be able to engage the infantry, and repeating crosses will be able to finish them off. But the archers are blocked and chased by cavalry as they're not very well protected. The Polish team just walks around and gets infantry in their face as well. Archers are open, come on, charge them. No? Okay. Blender? That's okay. Well, they still have more units in here to charge them with. The French team is moving with the foxes and dogs to prevent that from happening. Now the cavalry is going to be nibbled down by the dogs, well, a little bit. But the Polish team still has a lot of units in the area. Now the Polish repeating crossbows get in the range of archers that are still blobbed up, come on. And well, they got a very nice barrage onto them, but ooh, ara cavalry charge from behind through caltrops. Yep, that didn't work. That was too slow, launched from too far ahead, and now it will be chased away by the Polish cavalry. So let's see what the Polish team is up to. They have lifted the contest onto D. They have gone back, healed up their elephants, and now possibly we're looking for the same thing. The French team is launching a counterattack on this flank, trying to get on top of A. C forces of the French team have been largely cut down, and if the Polish team elects to chase them down, and they do have cavalry to do so, so they can prevent all those units from healing, and they will force them into respawning, and then they will have a lot of time to just get inside the base and capture it quite easily, if I may say so. But they decide against it. They decide that they need to heal themselves. The Polish team, I think, well, they're still not certain if they're going to advance, right? They are now in 4th place, and if they win this battle, rather if they win this match, then they are guaranteed getting out of groups. If they tie, then there is a possibility that they're not getting out of groups, because then they will have 5 points, and there is a possibility of a tiebreaker between Poland and China for the 4th place if China loses to Spain. So the Polish team is like, okay, our fate of this tournament is in our hands right now. If we win both of the battles, we are definitely out of groups. So they're maybe not willing to take any risks such as base capture, even though the base was like widely open for them. But still, they are now in control of 4 out of 5 points, and they're convincingly going towards victory, just slowly but surely. Now 6 points per second, so a little bit faster. Acceptable speed, if I may say so myself. D contested by an elephant. Obviously that's what elephants do. They just deny the point gain per second for the enemy team. The archers are being used. You should have fun, but their position isn't very good, so they're largely missing as the elephant wriggles around. Now French cavalry is being sent over here to the forest, maybe trying to find some rear charges into the units defending A. Well, it would be an okay idea, if not for the elephant being here, because as long as the elephant is here, the French team is not getting A. Let's see, the Polish team is maybe finally very slowly moving forward towards the French base. They have realized that they have really nothing else better to do, as the French team isn't really pushing them either. And let's see what the cavalry here is up to. Nice recharge into the... okay, it wasn't a recharge, the bikes have turned around. So now the spears are coming in and they will have the rear engagement, which is, in theory, preferable outcome. A very nice shield bash over there. Shield bashing the pikes from behind, but the cavalry is going to be cut down as it doesn't disengage after the charge. Or rather, maybe it's just stuck, because pikes do have some magnetic... what is it? Not qualities, features now, god damn it, properties, there we go, properties. Me and English. A love and hate relationship, I guess, as the English language escapes me from my brain as I am not able to speak it properly. But anyway, the French team is now launching a huge attack onto A, and they will be possibly able to take it. But I think they're missing the fact that they have left their base wide open. The Polish team is just going to walk in and capture it, looking to win maybe by the base capture rather than points in the end. So yeah, I think the Polish team could have done so 10 minutes ago, more or less. Well, maybe not 10, maybe that's a little bit over exaggeration, but definitely that possibility have been there for them for quite a while. They finally decided to pull the trigger. They've finally seen that, well, there's really no other threat. I mean, the French could technically capture A, race to the base, and somehow capture it faster than the Polish team would capture the French base. But yeah, getting a reality check, that is not going to happen. Cavalry in oath preventing the enemies, the French team that is recalling now back to defend their base from even getting out of the healing zone. And there we go, base captured. The Polish team was only 250 points away from victory anyway, but they have shortened the French team's suffering and are going to face the French team on the French map of choice. So we'll see if the French team will be able to find their first victory of the entire tournament. They're still winless, not only winless in terms of matches, but winless in terms of battles. Not a single tie even for the French team. So the French team eliminated from the tournament since the last round. Now all they're fighting for is their honor. Can they find a single victory on their map of choice in the last battle? Well, we'll see that in 2 days. I'll see you there on Sunday. But in the meantime, you can help us bring the warning back to West. And until then, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders.